I know I'm live. I'm trying to finish setting this up. Okay. Hey guys, it's Ginny Silver. Starting late. Sorry. Even my intro is late. Sorry, it's been a week. Hope you guys are doing well. We are going to be doing EDD Q&A today. Don't work for the EDD. Just a random person on the internet compiling information for you. So one thing that I did want to point out before I start taking questions is that the IRS has posted today that they are sending out their next round of $10,200 tax credit payments. So for those of you that are awaiting that adjustment, there's another round of them that's being delivered starting on the 28th and over the next few days. So if you didn't receive your $10,200 tax-free adjustment yet and you are awaiting that, check your IRS transcript because you might be receiving it today, tomorrow, or the next day. All right, I'm going to start at 4 o'clock. Debbie Hall has my little boy. Thank you. He's much better. It's not COVID. He got his test back. It was a weird something, though, and now we're all going to get it. All right, Linda at 4 o'clock. If someone was put on Fed Ed in late 2020 and used all of that, would they end up on the 11-week PEUC Tier 2? They won't get 29-week Tier 2 augmentation as they need to use the 11 weeks first. Okay, so you must utilize each tier of the PEUC extension and exhaust it all the way down to 0 before you're awarded the next phase of PEUC extension. So if you used up all of your Fed Ed and next you're going on to a PEUC extension, once you hit 0, about a week after that, you should be automatic, receive an award letter, and then about a week after that, you should have the ability to certify. It'll be for PEUC, whatever tier you're going onto. So if you haven't yet received the 13, 11, or the 29, that's the order that it goes in. So it sounds like you're going on the 11-week next. And then all tiers of the PEUC extension can only be collected up until claim week ending September 4th. Even if you have a balance, that is when the program ends. All right, peace at 4 o'clock. If someone has a balance on that's what I just finished saying. If someone has a balance on PEUC on September 4th, that's the end of that. If there is Fed Ed and someone can get it, it wipes out old PEUC balance and reloads to 20 weeks, weekly benefit amount times 20. So Fed Ed is a little bit different. The calculation for it's in most cases the same as your benefit, but let's see, I'll pull it up on my screen in a second. Let me do the first part of your question. Claim week ending September 4th, we will lose the $300 boost, PUA, and PEUC. Those programs will cease to exist. So if you have a balance, it doesn't matter because the program is not there anymore. So your balance will dissolve. Now, if you're a UI or PEUC claimant and you have not yet collected Fed Ed on your claim, you may qualify to go onto a Fed Ed extension. Fed Ed is going to remain active if the state unemployment rate remains high at 6% or above. There's another calculation for it also where it's 5% or above, but it's unlikely that that one would take into effect, and it's a bit tricky to calculate. Now, your PEUC balance will be dissolved. It'll go away because the program will end. And if you qualify to go onto Fed Ed, then that would be automatically applied to your claim. Now, Fed Ed is partially state funded and partially federally funded. And currently, let me jump over to, you're going to see 10 Ginnies on the screen. Look at them. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let me scroll down here. Okay, so right here, the federal legislation that we have for the stimulus bills right now continues Fed Ed through September 11th, but that's the federally funded portion. So the state funded portion is 13 weeks, and that one is always active as long as the unemployment rate is 6% or higher. The federally funded portion are the additional extra 7 weeks, which brings it up to 20 weeks. Those extra 7 weeks end September 11th. So after September 11th, let me get back over here. Oh, 10 Ginnies again. After September 11th, those extra 7 weeks of Fed Ed are gone, and it goes back down to being 13. Now, I have a video that hopefully Michael can link in the video video description in the chat box called Benefits Ending, What's Next. That video goes through all the different scenarios of each type of claim, and it shows you how to calculate and how to check and see if you qualify for Fed Ed. So watch that video. Make sure I'm doing good over here. Nothing's exploding. Okay. Today's stream is brought to you by Giant Water Bucket. But what I meant to say is today's stream is on subscriber mode only. So you have to be subscribed to the channel to drop comments. And the super stickers, super chats are disabled. So there's no way to pay me to get a question. I'm liking this way a lot better. It just feels a lot more equal. Okay. Joel at 4 o'clock. It's possible Fed Ed will be there for many of those on UI and its extensions, PEUC. PUA? Note. Hold on. The wording of this is... Okay, I see what you mean. PUA, no chance of getting to get anything after September 4th. A true end of the line. No chance of PUA extension. Claim week ending September 4th. PUA, PEUC, $300 boost will be done. Stimulus bill has ended them September 6th. And in the state of California, the last day for a benefit payout under those programs is going to be claim week ending September 4th. Those programs are dissolved. In order for PUA to continue on, we would have to see a bill proposed in Congress, passed in Congress, signed by the president, and then put into action. We do not have any such progress on that right now. So yes, it ends September 4th. All right, Vanessa at 4 o'clock, PEUC here, job search. If someone wanted to list it, wasn't it supposed to be just one search? I thought it was just one, but it asked for 3. Okay, so I did a video on this, Vanessa. Go look at my video that I published yesterday. Not the vlog one, the actually helpful one. Yesterday, I shared confirmation from the EDD that was a mistake. They made a mistake. They are fixing the mistake because I contacted them on this. So the EDD, in your biweekly certifications, many of you saw a screen that stated, are you searching for work? If yes, you're required to provide 3 work searches. That is not accurate. That is an error. EDD confirmed that with me in writing, and they're having their tech department change it because I brought it to their attention because for some reason they don't know what their own documentation states. So that's an error. To confirm the work search requirements, if you are Fed Ed, you are required to perform 3 or more work search activities per week, and you must log them on your certifications. If you're UI, PEUC, or PUA, 1 or more, and logging them is not required, but is suggested by the EDD. So I got them to confirm that in writing and change it. Hopefully they'll change it. They told me they would change it, but they didn't even know. They didn't even know that it was wrong, and they didn't even know where to find it. I had to send them examples of claimants that saw that. And that's how it was with several other problems recently that I got them to change. Okay. Let's see. Jenna at 4:03. Hi, Ginny. I certify again on Sunday, PUA. Will I get stuck in pending again, or will they pay based on the conditional payment? Okay, so if you certify and you get stuck in pending, what they're paying out right now, conditional pay, for those of you who don't know, is that for any claimants that have had 1 successful unemployment payment in the past on your claim previously, that was redundant, and you have been pending for 2 weeks or longer, the EDD is beginning to issue out what they're calling conditional payments, which is where they pay you for those pending weeks. And then if you have to do an eligibility interview or something like that, they will still reach out to you later down the line to confirm that eligibility. Now, the way this is going to be paid out, right now they are processing them in batches. Anyone that has been pending, there's no exact order that they go into, but I did do an interview with the attorney who is responsible for getting this change, and she provided a few additional details. So if you haven't seen that yet, watch that. But they're not going to automatically process you just because you're pending right away, right when you certify, or within 2 weeks. They have up until September 30th to process the current pending issues. So those of you that were currently pending They have up until September 30th, according to the class action settlement. So if you're just now certifying and you're just now getting a pending status, don't expect it to be paid out immediately because they have to cycle through and process these payments in batches. So number one, you can either wait it out for this conditional payment to come through. Many are starting to receive them, but they have up until September 30th in order to pay them out. So it can take quite some time. Number two, you can continue to call into the EDD. Michael can drop all of the call tips, the 134 tip, the 25 phone numbers, and using Claimer to get a hold line. And number three, you can contact your assembly member, and they've been extremely helpful recently, especially the last month or so, even more so the last several weeks, because they've been able to hire their own staff members that are dedicated to assisting EDD claimants. So if you're stuck in pending, you can wait it out or you can continue to push through, and contacting your assembly member has been very fast for most recently. Okay, I am at 403. Hello there. Let's see, 403. What about the status of MEUC? We don't have a status. We might get a status update in tomorrow's, what's the date today? Wednesday. In tomorrow's press release, there might be an update, but I can't say. Currently, the EDD is accepting those applications that they sent out. So if you are anticipating that you will be eligible, you should have already received a link to apply. If you didn't receive a link, it could be due to you not claiming that income on your application. And if you didn't do that, then you would need to contact the EDD. Now, many of you have submitted the application and are wondering how long they're going to take to process it. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of deadline or time frame on that. But once I do, I will share it with you. Okay. Owen, 403. What should I do if I have weeks with status not paid because my claim ran out of funds and then got renewed? Already called EDD and said 7 days to get payments, but it's been 14 days. Okay, so if you called them already, they said it was going to be 7 days, but it's been double that. Next, contact your assembly member. You've already contacted EDD. You can do that again, and it might get your results. But if it were me, I would contact my assembly member. Michael can drop the link on how to locate them in the video chat box for you. Okay, Tony, 403. I'm Fed Ed and never got asked to put in my job search. Okay. Fed Ed should be asked to put in your job search. So this is an error in your certification form. Did your payments go through? Hopefully your payments went through and you aren't stuck in pending. I'm curious to hear, are you stuck in pending or did they go through? Let me know because I'm curious. Okay. If so, what I would do, if it were me, I would send a UI online contact message, which we all love because they don't ever reply. And I would send a list of your job searches there over to them and screenshot it just so that you have on record that you tried to provide that information to the EDD. You want to try to cover your bases with them always and make sure you have it documented that you tried to send it to them. Okay, Crispy is on hold for a tier 2 rep. Okay, I really hope they don't drop your call. Good luck. All right, Galena at 404. Please address problems with MEUC document submission 4 times here. No help from State Assembly Office. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what problem you're having, but there was an original problem where they sent out the information, they sent out the link, claimants clicked on the link, and then it was broken. Is that the problem that you're having? That was one of the problems that I sent over to the media department. They said that they fixed it. If you can't send over documentation, then unfortunately you're going to need to contact the EDD. I would start by contacting EDD tech services and not the main customer service phone line because that seems to be a technical issue and they might be able to help you there and they're not going to have all the wait time that customer service will. You can find the tech services phone number in my 25 phone numbers to call the EDD video, which Michael can drop the link in the chat box, hopefully. All right. Checking this. Okay, going over here. All right, you guys, as a reminder, I can't get all the questions. So if I do not get yours, you can ask it every 15 minutes. I try to get as many as I can 404, thank you, Ginny. I received 3 of my pending payments yesterday. I still have 3 more pending. I'm really glad to hear they're starting to come through. Yes, I would anticipate them to, in some cases, be paid out in one big batch, and in other cases, be paid out in smaller chunks, because the claims are so nuanced. There are different sections and different types of claims that you guys have. There's different weeks that had different stop pending alert reasons and different problems. So if you're seeing them paid out in chunks, I wouldn't be alarmed. I would expect more to come. All right, Jeremy at 405, any change for the PUA UI online certification? The statement that you'll see on the certification in most cases will be, it'll ask you all the regular questions. If it asks you on that first page on question number 3, for some claimants, there's an error showing. And the error is, it states you must provide 3 searches. 3 searches is only applicable to Fed Ed claimants. If you're PUA, UI, or PEUC, you're only required to do 1 or more search activities. So that's an error that you might see, but EDD told me they would correct it. The next thing that you're going to see that's different is when you click over to yes, I did look for work, it's going to ask you, do you want to enter in your work searches? Yes or no. PUA, UI, and PEUC are not required to enter in their work searches, but Fed Ed is. So you'll still see that screen regardless. All right, Michelle at 405. I'm still waiting for my phone interview that was scheduled today at 3, and it's 4:19. I'm really sorry to hear that. I really hope it comes through for you. And if it doesn't, sometimes they cancel phone interviews and they don't require you to do it again. So check your UI online and see if it was canceled by any chance, because sometimes they will just automatically approve you and cancel that phone interview. All right, 405. Hello, Ginny. My question is, if you know what this means. Claimant did not report wages in quarter 21-1 and underreported wages in quarter 20 through 4. It seems that this is the reason for my pending payment. Okay, that means that you worked as an employee, you earned income, and you did not claim that income on your certification. So that's a problem. So if that's something that happened, you're going to need to claim those wages with the EDD because they have it reported to them. They know that you earned it. There are a few claimants that may see that as an error, but it's kind of unlikely it's a reporting error, but it would be that you earned wages, didn't report them, and then they're most likely going to disqualify some part of your claim based on that false statement, not being able to report those wages. And you might have to pay it back if you were already paid those benefits. Okay, but regardless, call EDD to get it straightened out. They may have you scheduled for a phone interview, and you may call in and just be told that you have to wait for a phone interview. But regardless, with that one, because it's a serious problem, I would call into the EDD and try to see if you can get it straightened out. Okay. Shelby, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, you guys. Oh, my moderator, Michael, you guys tell him congrats on his new part-time job. He is officially on my staff, on my payroll as of today. So he's working for me. He's stuck with me and all of my chaos. So thank you, Michael. All right, Christy at 406 was on extension, went to 0, got a message. I refiled my claim July 7th, certified July 25th, and everything pending. Can't make my car. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. You were on extension, it went to 0. You got a message, you certified, and then everything went to pending. Okay, so if your extension went to 0, when your benefit year ended, did you work or earn any income in the last 18 months? It sounds like the message that they sent you was that you would be automatically extended because you did not work or earn any income in the last 18 months. So if that's true, then you're pending for a different unrelated reason to that benefit year end. Now, if you did work and earn enough income in the last 18 months, then you would need to file a new claim, and that would be the reason for your pending. If not, you may most likely be pending because you are undergoing a new quarter wage review. For claims that are over a year old that are on extension, after a year's worth of benefits, the EDD reviews most claims at the start of every quarter. Claim week ending 7/10 is our most recent start of a new quarter. So if you have pending certifications for claim week ending 7/10 and onwards, that's most likely the problem. Now, we do have this new conditional payment program where the EDD is required from the class action settlement to pay out pending certifications automatically in advance of any sort of eligibility interview if the claimant has received one or more unemployment payments previously and they've been pending longer than 2 weeks. Now, many have begun to receive these conditional payments already, but the EDD has up until September 30th, according to the court documentation on the class action settlement. They have up until September 30th to pay these out. So it could be fast that you receive your pending paid, or it could be quite some time. So the new quarter wage review is something that can be fixed very easily by either reaching a tier 1 representative, calling into EDD, which is difficult, or contacting your assembly member. So I would contact your assembly member because they've been quite fast at processing those. All right, scrolling down. Sonia at 406. They have changed me from PUA to UI, changed my benefit year, and I was getting 174. Now I get 322. Do they owe me back pay? So they most likely changed you to UI because you earned some sort of wages within the last 18 months. If you worked part-time, if you worked full-time, if you earned any sort of wages in the last 18 months, then that would qualify you for an unemployment claim moving forward. So it sounds like that's what happened, and that's my guess. It does not sound like they would owe you back pay, but if it was some sort of a clerical error, EDD glitch, and you never should have been in PUA, then you might be entitled to back pay. So let me ask you this. Were you originally, prior to unemployment, self-employed, or were you a W-2 employee? If you were a W-2 employee, then you would be UI and should have always been UI. If you were self-employed, then you should have been PUA. So it depends on exactly what your form of employment was. Okay, I need a drink of water. I need to close this, reopen it because it's frozen. I like having my chat open on 2 screens so I can see the most recent comments sometimes, because sometimes like I mess up weird things, like my audio will go missing. And then I look at these ones for the questions. All right, Bree at 406. What if I'm on regular UI and caught COVID? Okay, so the certification page states, were you healthy enough to accept full-time work in a matter of words? But it also states that having COVID doesn't qualify you to answer that you weren't healthy. It's basically, were you sick with anything other than COVID? Because COVID is an approved reason for being on unemployment. So for anything other than COVID that hinders your availability, your ability to accept full-time work, you would have to go onto disability. But if it's COVID, you just continue to certify as normal and you are okay. All right, scrolling down. DED at 406. What if Fed Ed runs out? Once your Fed Ed reaches a $0 balance, next you're going to be awarded whatever tier of PEUC you have not yet received. PEUC is going to be active all the way up until claim week ending September 4th. So as long as your Fed Ed runs out before September 4th, you would receive that PEUC extension within 2 weeks of reaching a $0 balance awarded to your claim. And then you collect it up until September 4th. Okay, scrolling down. As a reminder, if I skip your question because there are just so many, and I can't get all of them, then retype it every 15 minutes in hopes of me getting it later down the line. Okay, but don't. This was the problem last time, you guys. Don't type in the chat box, you skipped my question. She's skipping my question again, because then what happens is I see that instead of your question. Okay, how long does it take to get my back date? This is different for everyone, and there's no set time frame. There's not a specific amount of time. It can be anywhere from a week up to a couple of months. It depends on how quickly the EDD processes it, and there's not a specific time frame for this. Most people report receiving it back between 2 and 6 weeks, but oftentimes people will receive it back and it will be denied. If your backdating is denied, this is a question I've been receiving very frequently the last few weeks, so I'm just going to outline this. If your backdating was denied, it can be due to a few different factors. Number one is that you might not qualify for the date that you requested. If you applied for your claim at 12/26 or earlier, then you can backdate potentially as early as February 2nd. If you applied for your claim 12/27 or later, you can apply for backdating potentially as early as 12/6. With that being said, backdating shifts your entire claim, which means that it shifts the 18 months that they're looking at for your wages. So for many claimants, they are getting denied for backdating because of those significant changes to your claim. And it would then put you in an overpayment situation. So for those of you that are getting denied backdating, resend the request, but keep trying it a month closer to your claim and just keep resubmitting it until it is approved. Okay, now you see me, now you don't. 409, hi Ginny, thanks for being, thank you. Have you heard from the appeals department that there's a legislative list? It's what they told me I was on after I asked for an expedited appeal. Okay, I think you commented this on a video the other day, but my memory is not great, so I don't remember all of it. I haven't heard of that term specifically. My guess is that if you contacted your assembly member to help with your claim, the assembly members have a specific EDD liaison that they speak with weekly for a few hours. And if they have claimants that they need to raise up to the EDD to help, which they always do, then they are kind of pushed to the front of some of the help these people first issues. So that's my guess, is that perhaps you contacted your assembly member and that would be what they're referring to, that they are pushing you through to be expedited a little faster. But that's my only guess with that. All right, Johnson at 409. I don't know why they keep saying that. Unfortunately, they can't be able to backdate my claim. Okay, so I just went over that answer about 5 minutes ago. So hopefully you heard that. If not, rewind the video. Rewind. It's like a Blockbuster tape, 1990s, and listen to that answer back there. Okay, I am at 417. We'll try tech services again. Okay, yes, give that a try and let me know if it works. Okay, Shelby at 417. I've been on UI and messed up. Somehow went to PUA, which finally got corrected. Made a new claim. I'm on PEUC. Okay, so they were putting people on PUA as an extension for UI for a period of time, several months back when we had that lapse between the two stimulus bills. There was about a 1 or 2 month period before the December stimulus bill kicked in and went into effect. During that point in time, the EDD, if you were on UI, because PEUC was inactive, there was no other extension to put you on while they awaited the stimulus bill to be put into effect. For some claimants, they switched them over to PUA. So that might have been what happened there, but it sounds like you're fixed now, so that's good. Okay, scrolling down. All right, Andy at 417. It's been 2 months. They still have not opened my account. Okay, opened your account. So I'm assuming that you... Oh, hey, man, you have a lot of comments down here. The reclaim, you mean reopen? Reopen button keeps showing. They aren't doing anything about it. It's been 2 months. Okay, so so it sounds like you do have a claim, you have collected on your claim, but the reopen claim button keeps showing. The reopen claim button is a glitch for some claimants as they're awaiting an extension to be applied. And it does pop up for other reasons as well. You do want to click Reopen Claim if you did not certify for a period of 30 days. In that case, you do have to click it and go through that process. But if it keeps popping up for you, or if that's not the case for you, you're going to have to contact customer service in order to get it fixed, unfortunately. If you can't get through, then contact your assembly members, and Michael can drop all of the links in the chat box down below. Okay. Scroll down. Did that one. Sherry at 419. Hi, I still have got nothing since March 13th, and I have 24 weeks pending. That is a lot of weeks. I'm very sorry to hear that. Contact your assembly member. Number one, make sure that your benefit year didn't end and that you're not required to file a new claim, and that because that's something you could take care of yourself. So double check that. UI, PEUC, and Fed Ed. Look in UI online, look at your claim start date. Count 12 months out after that. If you're beyond that time frame, you've reached the end of your benefit year. UI, PEUC, and Fed Ed must file a new claim if you reach the end of your benefit year. The current rule is that if you must file a new claim if you worked and earned enough income to qualify within the last 18 months. Now, if your claim already expired back in March, you would have been under the old rules, which was all claims are required to file a new claim at the end of your benefit year. So is that the case with your claim? If so, you can fix it right now by filing a new claim. If not, contact your assembly member, because that has been a very long time. Yes, you can contact the EDD, but at this point, to expedite things, I would contact your assembly member, and Michael can drop that link. All right, scrolling down. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Angelique at 420 says, I contacted my assemblyman and received a response. How long does it usually take the assembly members to get back to you? They all differ. So there are 80 different assembly members. Each office is a different level of helpfulness. Some are receiving replies back same day. Some are receiving replies back within 1 week, some even longer. So the majority of my subscribers recently have been hearing back within a few business days, because the majority of the assembly members have hired on additional staff members in order to help their EDD claimant issues. So let's see. Where am I? 420. Andy. Hi, Ginny. I called EDD yesterday in regards of my payments stuck on pending. They told me since I filed for a new claim, I have to wait for the claim in order for my payments to come through. Is that true? Yeah, so you had to file a new claim. All of your certifications on your expired claim, if you're required to file a new claim, are going to be stuck in pending until it's processed and you're either awarded a new claim or awarded an extension. So you are going to have to wait for that, technically. But there's a few different ways that this can go. And this is going to be a complicated answer because this is just where we're at with the EDD. Brace yourselves. Okay, so if you reach the end of your benefit year, you did work within the last 18 months, you have to file a new claim. That new claim can take up to 3 weeks to be processed. So your new application can take up to 3 weeks to be approved or denied. You will then receive either an approval letter, and that approval letter will award you a new claim. You will then be able to certify on the new claim, but those new certifications will then be stuck in pending for an additional up to 3 weeks. During that point in time, those pending certifications are pending because your claim is sent out to a third-party company for additional fraud checks. This is known as a UISD review. During that period in time, your pending certifications won't be paid out. But it should be finished by 3 weeks later. Now, if you were denied a new claim due to lack of wages, you will first receive a scary denial letter. Then, about a week later, you receive another letter saying that your claim does qualify for a PEUC extension. About a week after receiving that, then your balance will be funded and your pending payments will move to paid. Now, there's even more to explain with this. We now have the conditional payment policy that has been created by a class action lawsuit and is now something that the EDD must implement. Any claims that have received one or more payments previously on that claim and the claimant has been pending for 2 weeks or more will begin to see their pending payments paid out automatically. This is known as the Conditional Pay Program. The EDD has until September 30th to pay these out, according to the Class Action Settlement Agreement for current pending claims. So here's the thing. If you applied for a new claim and were denied a new claim, those pending certifications can get pushed to paid at any point in time from now until September 30th, or as soon as that new extension is actually finalized. If you are awarded a new claim, those pending certifications are going to stay pending because this new claim has never been paid out yet. So you would not qualify for conditional pay in that case. If you are awarded a new claim, those pending certifications will not automatically be migrated to the new claim. So a heads up on that, you will need to request backdating or contact EDD in order to get those pendings paid. That's 10 minutes of an answer for one simple question, because this is how extremely broken this system is. I need some water. All right. Who actually sat through all? Oh, the 345 of you listened to that extremely boring explanation that took 10 minutes. Hi, Bad Grandpa. I hope you're well. Okay. Scrolling down. Shelby, thank you very much. Johnson at 421. Hello, Ginny. I backdate my claim. And EDD is saying that they are unable to process my request to backdate due to the date you provided. Yes. Okay, so this is either due to when you applied. If you applied 12/26 or earlier, you can potentially backdate as early as 2/2. If you applied 12/27 or later, you can potentially apply to backdate as early as 12/6. But you may be denied because backdating changes the base period of your claim and moves it backwards. Because it moves it backwards, they're looking at a different period of wages or earnings for you, and it may completely change your claim award amount, which would mean that they would have to collect overpayments. So oftentimes these backdate requests are denied. If you're denied for that reason, then continue to resubmit backdating requests on Ask EDD with a date that's a little bit closer. You can push it back closer to your claim by 2 weeks or by 1 month and keep trying until you see that it is approved. All right, scrolling down. All right. 422. What if I'm on appeal since December of 2020? I'm sorry to hear that. The appeals process is very difficult and there's not a lot of information. Go to my channel homepage and search for appeal. There's an interview there with an EDD attorney that specializes in working with claimants and appeals. Watch the video, gather some information there from him, and then you can contact their law firm for a free consultation. Even if you don't choose to hire them on as your representation or your attorney to help you through the process, they provide free consultation, so it might be useful for you to still call in and get some help. They're called Pershing Square Law Firm. All right. 422, maximum benefits paid. What's next? Okay, so if you see maximum benefits paid, you are going to have a $0 balance. About a week after hitting zero, you're going to receive an award letter awarding you the next phase of the PEUC extension. About a week after you receive that award letter, then you will have the ability to certify and your balance will increase. If you don't receive an extension automatically within 2 weeks, then contact the EDD. And if your claim has expired, and you don't receive an extension, UI, PEUC, or FedEd, 12 months after the start of your benefit year, you do have to file a new claim if you worked and earned enough income to qualify within the last 18 months. So if you didn't work, you're not expired, then it should be an automatic extension. And you can collect PEUC extensions up until claim week ending September 4th. All right. 423, just wondering if you know when we will find out if we will get the mixed earners back pay and when they will pay it out. Unfortunately, no, there is no date set on that yet. I'm hoping that in this week's press release, they share more information on that, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, Christine, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay, Sylvia at 425. I had pending payments from May until my interview, which was 2 weeks. Now they all say disqualified. I haven't received anything still. I've had this reported a lot. You guys are waiting weeks for these phone interviews. You conduct the phone interview. The interviewer tells you that all is good, 7 to 10 days to receive your payment, and then you see not paid or disqualified. I unfortunately don't have an answer for you on this, but I would contact your assembly member right away. You can contact EDD, but the interview process leads me to believe that calling into customer service isn't necessarily going to fix your problems. I would start by contacting your assembly member, and Michael can drop the link on how to do that. I'm going to drink some water. All right, my big cup. All right. Scroll down. Oscar, 426. I receive 193 weekly from PUA and just got a part-time job, and it seems I'll be gaining around 200-ish per week. Will I completely lose PUA? Or if 1 week I make less than 193, I'll keep it for that week. Okay, so many of you guys are returning back to work part-time, and you're trying to figure out if you can still collect for that week or not. So the calculation is this. If you earn less than $100 in a week, the first $25 of what you earn is not subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else is. If you earn over $100, the first 25% of what you earn is not subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else is. So you can do the calculation based on that. Now, if you qualify for $1 of unemployment benefits or more, then you also qualify to receive the $300 boost. Any weeks where you're marked as excessive earnings, meaning that you earned too much in order to qualify to receive a payout, you do not receive the boost. All right. Scrolling down. All right, 427. Why is it that EDD stated to me that I'm on a false statement penalty week when I didn't report anything false on the last payment? Under UI, did you by any chance have unreported wages at any point in your claim where you worked part-time, but you didn't claim it? That might explain that, if that's a problem for you. Other than that, I can't tell you because I don't work for the EDD and I can't look at your claim and see what the false statement is. So you're going to need to contact EDD to get details specifically on why that is. If you can't get through, use all of the call tips that Michael is going to drop in the chat box, the 134 trick, 25 phone numbers to try. What else? Using Claimer to get to a hold line and contacting your assembly member. Drinking water from a cup that says coffee. Sylvia, thank you. Crispy is still holding. I'm sorry. I'm glad it didn't drop though. All right. Scrolling down. I'm at 428. How long does it usually take for the assembly members to get results? It depends what the problem is. As we all know, there's a wide variety of problems, glitches, and errors that they're trying to fix. Well, not that they're trying to fix, but that are caused with these EDD claims. There's a wide variety of them. So because there's so many different things that could potentially need to be fixed, there's no set time frame for how long an assembly member could take to get results. Now, many of you are contacting your assembly members. They're sending you back a standardized email that says, we have taken your information. We will get back to you within a period of 2 and 6 weeks. And a lot of you are getting scared away by that time frame, but then you're receiving help within a few days. So contact your assembly member. They might tell you a scary long wait time, but that's because they want to manage your expectations. So a lot of people are reporting in the last week they're receiving help within a few days if the problem is something like a new quarter wage review or some sort of a stop payment alert that can be fixed very easily. while others are reporting that they don't get help for several weeks because it is an issue like an interview wait time or something along those lines. But the assembly members do seem to be able to push through these conditional payments a little faster also. So those of you that have called into assembly members before, you're waiting for that interview wait time, and they told you they couldn't help you because you had to wait for the interview and they can't control that, I would call in again, because now that the conditional payment program is rolling out, they might have more ability to push those pending payments through for you with these new changes. So if you tried it before and it didn't work, you might want to try it again. Okay, when does the conditional payment batches go out? I like your spelling, batches. So there's no, okay, watch my video that I did where I show the appeal document, where I interview the attorney, the appeal document. Watch my video where I show the class action settlement document and where I interview the attorney that is responsible for this class action settlement. She provides more information that's very detailed, but in short, there's no set way that or time frame that they're paying out exact groups of claimants. There's no schedule to follow, but they're beginning the payouts starting July 23rd. So they've already started and continuing on through September 30th. So those of you with currently pending certifications who have already received one or more payouts on your unemployment claim and you've been pending for over 2 weeks, your pending should be pushed to paid by September 30th. That's quite a long span of time. So for those of you that aren't seeing those payments come through yet, that do qualify for that conditional payment program, contact your assembly member, continue to call in if you need payments faster, which I know most of you do. All right, Stay Solid Fitness at 428. When my benefit year ends and I still have money in my claim balance, will I be able to get it? No, so the way that your claim will work is that you're awarded a certain amount of weeks times your weekly benefit award amount. During the course of your year, you can use that benefit award amount. So you can use that claim balance over the course of that year. At the end of that year, you are required to file a new claim if you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, and you worked or earned income within the last 18 months. When you file a new claim, you would then be awarded a new claim if you qualify. Now, if you don't qualify for a new claim, then the EDD would need to extend your old claim. If it's before September 4th, then you would receive a PEUC extension, your claim would be extended, and then you could collect that additional balance. So it depends on the date, and it depends on if you worked or not, and if you have to file a new claim. Okay, scrolling, finding my spot. Okay, I am at 440. Let's see, I'm on my first extension after my UI benefits were exhausted, but first extension only covered 10 weeks and runs out in 2 weeks. Will I qualify for another extension? Yes. So you're on PEUC extension right now. The first phase of the PEUC extension is 13 weeks. Once you zero it out all the way, then you're awarded PEUC Tier 2, and that is going to be 11 weeks. You can zero it out. And then if it's, I can't even calculate how many weeks we have until September 4th. All phases of the PEUC extension must be used up by claim week ending September 4th. So there are 3 phases. There's a 13-week phase, 11-week phase, and a 29-week phase. But because we are nearing the end of the PEUC program on claim week ending September 4th, you will continue to be awarded them and can use up the balance up until claim week ending September 4th. These should be automatically awarded to you within 2 weeks of reaching a $0 balance. But if they're not, then contact the EDD if it has been over 2 weeks. Scroll down. 441 after some water. All right. I'm highly frustrated. Been stuck on pending over a month. And it's all because of a review on my claim, because of a change of address, which I corrected, and even spoke with the EDD and still stuck on pending. That's a big problem. I'm very sorry to hear that. The address changes, address verification is something that can get you stuck in pending for a long time, unfortunately. We have a current fix, kind of fix to that with the conditional payment program. Recent litigation with the EDD, there was a class action settlement filed. The EDD now will begin processing pending payments automatically before they even finish finalizing your eligibility. So regardless of their delays on their end, they will have to process your pending payments if you received one or more unemployment payouts previously on your claim and you've been pending over 2 weeks. They have started doing this on many claims already, so you could see it come through at any point in time from now on, but they have up until September 30th to do this. So for you, I would recommend contacting your assembly member. Michael can drop the link on how to locate them. Contact your assembly member and see if they're able to help you push your pending to paid. Andy, you are very welcome. Letitia at 442. I have a phone interview due to wages and explaining to them why I got fired. I have 4 weeks of pending payments. I called them and different agents telling different stuff. I see no paid payments. Okay, so the thing is that even if those go to paid, if you were terminated in your place of employment, it has to be that you lost your employment due to no fault of your own or a pandemic-related reason. So you will know if you meet those qualifications. If you were terminated due to no fault of your own, then you would qualify to receive those payments. But if you were terminated and you don't qualify, after your eligibility interview, they're going to find you disqualified for those payments. Now, you might see those payments come through as paid due to the conditional payment program that I just explained a few minutes ago. But I want you to keep in mind that the EDD might later disqualify those if you aren't eligible to receive them due to being terminated. And of course, that depends on your reason for termination. So I want you to be aware that they might issue you an overpayment notice and they might collect them back if you don't qualify for them. Okay. Benji at 442. I was wondering, do you know how to reach the recomputation department? I've been waiting since April and calling. I'm guessing that you mean to recompute your benefits, recomputate, to see if you can increase your weekly benefit award amount. Is that what you're trying to do? I'm not quite sure what you're asking here, but no, there's not a direct phone number for that I am aware of. You would need to contact the EDD customer service phone line or contact your assembly member. All right, let me see what's going on here. My program type is extension tier 2, augmentation. Am I required to document my job searches on UI Online, or can I document them elsewhere than pending for 1 week? Okay, so if you are Fed, I know this isn't you, but I'm going to say it anyway for anyone else who's listening. If you're Fed Ed, you are required to perform 3 or more work search activities per week, and you must document them in your biweekly certifications. You have to enter in the info. If you are UI, PUA, or PEUC, which includes PEUC, Tier 2, and Tier 2 augmentation, then you're required to perform 1 or more work search activities per week, and documentation in your certification is not required. So yes, you may document them elsewhere, but make sure that you select yes, that you are looking for work. The EDD had an error in their certification page on many claimants for a while, and they have told me that they're going to fix this. The error was that it stated for claimants such as PEUC and PUA, you're required to provide 3, when that's not actually their requirement that they have stated and sent out to you in a letter and stated in a press release, etc. So they're correcting that. But it's very frustrating that they can't deliver consistent information. All right. Sylvia, thank you. Marcus at 444. Should I call if I have certifications not paid? Yes. Not paid is like a final decision. You need to call in to customer service. If you can't get through, contact your assembly member because you're going to need help with that. Cecilia at 4:45. On extension, year ended, but still able to certify. Fix my comments. Got a message saying mixed earners eligibility didn't work in 18 months, but still pending for months. Okay, those are two different unrelated things. The mixed earners notification means that you are someone who had both W-2 earnings and self-employment earnings when you applied and you entered those on your application. You are someone who earned $5,000 or more in self-employment income, but you're classified as UI. So you are eligible to apply for a mixed earners boost. Extra money, $100 extra per week to compensate for all the income they didn't take into account because you're a mixed earner. So apply for that. You have to apply by September 6th, but apply now so that you can get that benefit. Now, the other part of your question here, you're on extension, your year ended, you're able to certify, and you're stuck in pending. Okay, so if your year ended, you didn't work within the last 18 months, you should not be required to file a new claim. You should next reach zero. You should next receive an award letter in about a week later after reaching zero, stating that you will receive a PEUC extension. About a week after that, you should receive the ability to certify and then should be able to certify and get paid. Now, if all of that has happened for you, but those certifications are stuck in pending, there's a different reason for that pending, unrelated to your year ending. It's most likely, in your case, a new quarter wage review, which means that your claim is over a year old and the EDD is required to check your claim and see if you've earned any wages in the last period of time in order to qualify you for a new claim. So, new quarter review, the EDD will have to fix that either over the phone or you can contact an assembly member, or you can wait for the conditional payment program to begin to process those pendings automatically. We don't know exactly how long they're going to take to process your payments specifically. It can take all the way up until September 30th, though, to receive these conditional payments. So for you, you most likely will want to call into EDD or contact your assembly member to try to get it pushed from pending to paid faster. I need water. All of these questions take a 10-minute answer because the EDD has so many broken pieces. All right. Let's see what else we got over here. All right, I am at 4:47. When will you owe overpayments? Is it everybody? I collected the $600 as well now the $300 and didn't work in 2020 due to fear of COVID. Will I owe? Okay, so an overpayment notice will be issued to you. You'll be required to pay benefits back if you received more than you should have, or if you were not eligible to receive unemployment, or if you submitted some sort of a false statement to the EDD, such as not claiming wages when you did work. So the only people that are going to have to pay back benefits are people that had their benefits miscalculated, that had an error in their statement that they made to the EDD, or they weren't eligible for those benefits. Those are the people that are going to be issued an overpayment. Now, the EDD has up to, I have to double check the number, but I believe it's 3 years to issue an overpayment notice to you. So if you did make an error and they want to collect those benefits back, they have up to 3 years, I believe, I have to double check that, to issue that overpayment notice. Now, with that being said, the EDD does have the possibility of an overpayment waiver. The media department told me that they would have more information on this overpayment waiver in an upcoming press release. I don't know when that's going to be, but hopefully it's soon. If you were issued an overpayment notice and you did not commit anything fraudulent, you did not have an overpayment assessed to you due to no fault of your own, and you have financial hardship in terms of paying it back, then you can potentially apply for an overpayment waiver if it was due to no fault of your own. In your case, you're asking about simply collecting benefits that you qualified for because it's COVID related. Your working conditions weren't safe. You weren't able to work due to the pandemic. So unless you provided some sort of a false statement about your wages, your self-employment income, your earnings, etc., something fraudulent or incorrect, then no, you should not personally be subject to an overpayment. All right, scrolling down. Let's see. John at 448. Anyone having trouble receiving the MEUC boost? Mine still says submitted as a status, and I applied July 7th. Yes, no one has received it yet. The EDD did not state when they would pay these out. They just said, we're going to begin sending applications. And they sent the applications, which had a series of glitches that I had to get fixed with them. They actually listened to me and kind of repaired them, but they did not provide a date in which they'll begin paying these out. So no, you're not alone. No one has received payment on them yet. But as soon as I hear either from subscribers that they have begun to receive those payments or from the EDD on news on this, then I'll be sure to share it. All right, Daniel at 449. My benefit year has ended, but I was still on my extension and had money left. My last week that I certified for is pending. Do I have to reapply to receive the rest of the money on my extension? Okay, so first I need to drink water. I do. All right, benefit year ended. You were still on an extension. You had money left. Last week that you certified for is pending. It depends on your earnings. If your benefit year ends, your UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, in the last 18 months, did you work and earn income enough to establish a new claim? If yes, then you must reapply and file a new claim. If you're not sure, try to file a new claim and see if it allows you to proceed. If it does allow you to go forward with the application, then yes, reapply. The EDD said that it will automatically stop you if you don't qualify. So test that out and see if it works. It could be pending due to an expired year, or if you did not work during the last 18 months, you don't qualify for a new claim, it could be pending due to another reason, such as some kind of a stop payment alert from your certifications, or a need for an eligibility interview, or a new quarter wage review. The new quarter wage review is what's affecting claimants who have claim week ending 7/10 and onward stuck in pending. If that's the week for you that's stuck in pending and onwards, then it's because you're a claim that is over a year old and the EDD has you in a new quarter wage review where they must ask you a few simple questions to see if you qualify essentially for a new claim. So in that case, if you're stuck in pending, the EDD has new conditional pay program, which means that by September 30th, according to their class action settlement agreement, they're required to pay out your pending certifications conditionally, which means basically before they finish all the stuff they have to do on their end. So if you have received one unemployment payout or more previously and you've been pending over 2 weeks, then you might get those paid out. Well, you will get those paid out automatically, but we can't say exactly how long it will take. Be sometime before September 30th. If you don't want to wait that long, which I don't really suggest that you do wait, you can call EDD, and if it is a new quarter wage review, that's an easy and fast fix once you get through. Or you can contact your assembly member, and they have been very helpful at helping a lot of subscribers get pushed from pending to paid. All right, I have to refill my water, so you get a very awkward water. It's happening. It's ASMR. EDD ASMR. It's right next to my microphone too. I feel like I should have done it discreetly in the corner. It's like the least relaxing sound. Okay. Let me see where we're at. 5:06. You guys, everyone in my house is sick. My voice is kind of hanging on by a thread, but it's lasted for an hour. So that's good. All right. Benji at 4:49. Does anyone know? I already answered that one. Benji, I already answered that one. I got to close that one. Screen Arts Media at 4:50. What happens September 4th if you're still in your year? Okay, this depends on what type of claim you are. So if you reach claim week ending September 4th, what ends is the $300 boost, PUA, PEUC. All of those programs will no longer exist after September 4th. Even if you have a remaining balance in PUA or PEUC, you cannot collect it because the program has ended. No, you can't collect the rest of the balance on that. But if you're UI, regular unemployment, that will always continue to exist. That's the statewide unemployment benefits. So you'll continue to collect your unemployment benefits regularly if you're a UI claim. The other thing that will continue potentially is Fed Ed. Fed Ed is an extension that comes after regular unemployment benefits, and the program must be active. In order for the program to be active, then there must be a statewide unemployment rate of 6% or higher. There's a second calculation which requires it to be 5% or higher, but it's unlikely that that scenario would happen because you have to compare the 2 prior years and it gets complicated. So 6% or higher. Right now we're sitting around, I think it's 7.7% for our rate. So I can't tell you if it will be active at that point in time. But if Fed Ed is active, you may qualify to go onto a Fed Ed extension. I have a video about that, and Michael can hopefully link it. It's called Benefits Ending, What's Next? Something like that on my channel homepage. Hopefully Michael can link that video because I go through and I talk through the calculation to see if you qualify for Fed Ed. I talk about a California training extension, etc. So I would watch that video and see what happens there. Okay, Rosalie at 4:51, had my phone interview. They really don't let you fully explain, and they're rude. I was hoping I got a male representative. How long do they have to determine? Thank you. I appreciate that. So if you, sorry you got a rude representative. I know many of you have negative experiences, but also many of you get representatives that are helpful to you. But it's a mixed bag with any customer service position, unfortunately. So I'm sorry you got a bad representative. Now, once you have your interview, it should take 7 to 10 days for them to apply that decision to your claim. If it's been 10 business days and you still have no change on your claim, then contact your assembly member. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and read this because I see this. Your assembly member, Golden One says, my assembly member told me to get a job and hung up. Okay. But was that one of their representatives? Try again. Email them. Email them again. See if you get a different answer that time. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. I saw Shelly in here and I'm looking for a comment. Hi, Shelly. I see you in here. Okay. Scrolling down. Edwin, 4:52. I was first on UI. Then I was on PEUC. Then the file a new claim link was on my login page. So I filed a new claim. I got papers in the mail. They say I'm eligible for PUA. Okay. So having the file a new claim button on your page is always there. Except for the one time when there was a glitch in the system and then it disappeared from people's page that actually needed to file. So that button is always there. You're going to need to file a new claim if you reach the end of your benefit year, your UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, and you did work enough to establish a new claim within the last 18 months. So it sounds like you did, and you filed a new claim, and you are now awarded PUA. That would have happened if, when you filed a new claim, the income that you had was self-employment income. Because if you qualified for a new claim and it was under self-employment income, then that sounds like that's what happened to you. So that's just my guess. Okay, Sylvia at 452. I've been certifying for benefits every week, but I haven't been paid in over 2 months. I don't know what to do. Okay, so if you are stuck in pending, not paid, disqualified, you need to, number one, you could wait if it's pending. The EDD has the conditional payments that I've been explaining over and over again. Hopefully you've heard that explanation by now. Conditional payments have begun to roll out starting July 23rd and will continue to be paid out for the currently pending claims through September 30th. That's their deadline that they have in their settlement agreement. You may not want to wait that long because we don't know exactly when that's going to hit your bank account, when that's going to actually happen for you. So if you are pending, not paid, or disqualified, you need to either contact the EDD or you need to contact your assembly member. Michael's going to drop all the links for all of those options in the chat box down below. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. I'm at Daniel at 454. I'm still not able to get a hold of anyone in EDD. Okay, so Michael should have probably just now dropped all the links for all the call tips. There's a lot of different options. I know that it's hard either way. But things you can try. Number one, you can try the 134 phone trick. And you can click the link and view that video on how to do that. You call in when they say select from the following, then you enter in 1, 3, 4, one right after another. Don't wait for the menu options, just 1, 3, 4. That has worked for more subscribers recently in the last few weeks because the call volume, although it's still terrible, seems to be a little bit lower. So I would try that one. You have to try it many times in order to get it to work. And it unfortunately won't work all the time. Next, you can try the 25 phone numbers to contact the EDD video that I have. That gives a lot of branch phone numbers that you can call all of them from the EDD and see if they're able to help you. That gives the number for the ID department and the tech support department in case you have an issue that pertains to those specific departments, and you can try those. It also gives the America's Job Centers link. And you can try contacting various job centers because oftentimes they're able to connect you through a direct line to the EDD. Not all offices do that. And I had my assistant, Kat, spend a couple days calling the job centers to see. She called about 30 different job centers, and I think only about 4 of them were able to actually help her connect to a line. So it's still worth trying. Next, you can try Claimer. Claimer is a service, and this is not a fit for everyone, but because there's a lot of positive feedback on it, I still always share it. So Claimer is a service where you pay a third party and they send you a hold line. I have videos on it that explain it. But lastly is the one that I really want you guys to do, which is contacting your assembly member. They've been extremely helpful the last several weeks specifically because they now have dedicated staff in most of their offices that can help to process these issues faster. All right, Sarah. Let's see, Sarah, I already answered your question about an hour ago, but I'll answer it again. Maximum benefits paid, received determination for Tier 2, still no payment since May 19th. Oh, this one has more information on it. I see why it's rewritten. Okay, so if you reach maximum benefits paid, for those of you that are reaching maximum benefits paid, if you're within your benefit year, you should have the extension PEUC applied automatically. It should take no longer than 2 weeks in order to have it applied, receive the award letter, and then be able to certify. But if you reach the end of your benefit year and you did work within the last 18 months, you will have to file a new claim. Now, Sarah received a Tier 2 extension. She received PEUC extension letter, but still no payment since May 19th. What are they marked as? Are they marked as pending? Are they marked as not paid or disqualified? Or can you not even certify? If they're marked as pending, not paid, disqualified, contact EDD, contact your assembly member. You can continue to wait because we now very recently have the conditional payment program, which is going to begin to process those automatically. But if you've been waiting since May 19th, contact EDD. Use all those links that Michael is providing in the chat box or contact your assembly member, and they've been very helpful at pushing them through quickly. Okay, I'm scrolling down. 456. How long does it take for them to review submitted documents? It varies. There's no specified term for reviewing the documents, unfortunately. Some people will submit things like address verification, income verification. If you're awaiting the MEUC boost application, etc., there's no specified length of time. But if you're waiting over 2 weeks, then I would contact your assembly member. Try to get through to the EDD if you're able to. Sometimes the documents are simply sitting there, not applied to your claim, and it's a quick fix. But in most cases, with things like address verification, or if there's ID issues, then contacting your assembly member is going to be a faster way to get that resolved for you. And Michael can drop that link once again. All right, Dina at 4:57. I'm Fed Ed, and it's asking me to write three John contacts. I know you mean job, but John is funnier, instead of activities when I'm certifying. Okay, Fed Ed is required to provide 3 work search activities. Oh, I see. Misread your question. I misprocessed it in my brain. Okay, you're correct. The certification, sorry, my chair is very broken. It's very uncomfortable. The certification page is not updated. And this is the next thing I'm going to ask this media rep about because it's not accurate. First, I'm trying to get them to fix the 3 work search requirements that's showing up for PEUC, PUA, and UI claimants, because that's incorrect. That is only for Fed Ed. Fed Ed must provide 3 work search activities per week and is required to log them. Now, many of you, when you certify, are noticing that perhaps you performed a work search activity that was not directly contacting a job, such as updating your resume, doing a course to prepare you for the workforce, or attending a networking event, etc. There's a lot of different work search activities that are approved, but the certification page still states contact name, etc. It's not accurate. So if it were me certifying, I would just fill in all of my details into the fields, regardless of what the field actually asks for. So where it states contact name, I would just state the activity that I performed, where I performed it, etc. And yes, it's very frustrating that they have not updated that. Okay, Bob Davis at 4:58. What is Tier 2 augmentation? So Tier 2 augmentation is, there's a fly in here. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Tier 2 augmentation is a phase of the PEUC extension. PEUC comes in 3 different phases. The first phase is 13 weeks, and that's called PEUC. The second phase is called Tier 2, and it is 11 weeks. And the third phase is called Tier 2 augmentation, and it is up to 29 weeks. So you're on the 3rd phase of the PEUC extension. All right, make sure things are still good over here. Debbie Hall, I see you in here. Oh, Shelly's still in here. Hi, Shelly. Debbie Hall says another live with Shelly's Millions. Advise. Well, there will be in the future. Shelly and I are talking about something else that's more involved to help her business, but Shelly, I'm not sure if I can do it in the time frame that you want. I'll message you later. I'm really tight on time. I'm not sure if I can do it, Shelly, but I'll talk to you later. All right, Nick, when will you owe overpayments? Is it everybody? I already answered that one, Nick. I spent a long time on that one. All right, Chen Ji at 4:59. After extension, Tier 2 augmentation expires on September 4th. Do I have to call EDD to apply for Fed Ed, or is it already automatic? Okay, so it should be automatic. They should automatically look at your claim, and they should automatically apply it if you qualify. If you don't hear anything within 2 weeks, then I would contact the EDD. But for those of you who are anticipating that you will go on to Fed Ed, it should be automatic. It's 5:20. I'm going to take 10 more minutes of questions. Drink some water first. All right. I'm going to get earlier questions, but I just saw this one, and this is one that I'm getting asked a lot, so I'm going to answer it. 5:20. Going back to work on August 8th, do I still need to do job searches? Okay, the EDD states that if you have a work start date within a reasonable amount of time, that you're not required to search for work. but please don't do that. Please still select yes, and please still actually search for work. There's a variety of work search activities that you can perform that aren't necessarily sending your resume or having a job interview. Update your resume, search job boards, do the other things where you aren't necessarily applying, and then still select yes and document that work search yourself. Why? Because selecting no oftentimes applies a stop payment alert to your claim where you get stuck in pending. And I don't want you to get stuck in pending. So do you have to? No. But do you want to? Yes, because you don't want to be pending. Thank you. You guys, I like to be real about this though, because a lot of you are very complimentary to me, but you guys, I profit from my channel, and I'm pretty upfront about that. So thank you for the compliment, but also thank you guys for giving me pandemic work and for helping me to build this channel. So it's not a selfless act, although I do care about you guys a lot. I want to let you guys know that I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm helping you with your questions and with informative content. I advocate for you guys in the media and with representatives and things like that, but you guys have been my pandemic source of income on this channel, so I'm very grateful to you guys as well. All right, Eduardo, 516. Hi, Ginny. Any updates on the MEUC program? No, unfortunately, we do not have any updates on the MEUC program. I'm hoping for something in this week's press release, but I can't say that we will. All right, golden one at 511. I was pending and I called the assembly member's office. I explained my situation and I had mentioned I needed help because of hardships. I was advised to do so from Shelly's Millions channel. And he said, go out and get a job. Okay, did you tell them that a YouTube channel told you to call? Because they don't like that. They don't, with the EDD, with official offices and things like that, referencing information that you have on YouTube and saying that I heard on YouTube, just avoid it, like we might tell you the information that you need to know to call in, but they in general don't like that. So I'm really sorry that they hung up on you. What I would do, I would still try to get help from your assembly member's office. Instead of calling them, I would send them in an email next, and I would make sure that you explain your situation, that you're having financial hardship. Is there any way that you can help me? And then they most likely will email you back, send you an intake form, and then start to help your claim. So there could have been some sort of an exchange over the phone that derailed that conversation, it sounds like. So I would try again and try to get help that way. Okay, let's see. Scrolling down. What happens when your tier 2 balance ends, JM? Okay, so if your balance ends and you're on tier 2, which is the second phase of the PEUC extension, you're going to go all the way down to 0 balance. About a week after that, you're going to receive an award letter awarding you the third phase of the PEUC extension. It's going to say 29 weeks, but you can only collect it up until claim week ending September 4th, because claim week ending September 4th is when those pandemic-related programs end. About a week after you receive that notice, then you should be able to certify and see your balance increase. If it doesn't happen within 2 weeks of hitting 0, then contact the EDD, because it should be automatic, but it is not. Okay, scrolling down. I'm going to do questions for about 5 more minutes. TRL says used Claimer and it really helps. Yes, if Michael can drop the Claimer link, it saves you $5 on your first call. If you are someone that wants to use a third-party service to dial for you, Claimer has one dialer. I did a very detailed video on this. A lot of you have strong opinions on it, but according to their details in their dashboard, they have one dialer, redials over and over again, and then it hands off the calls. It seems to decrease the amount of calls that are going in because it's a more efficient system. And as opposed to something like AutoDialer or some other system that assigns one bot to each and every caller, it's not the same. So I have a video that explains it. It sends you a hold line, but then you still have to sit on hold. if you're interested in checking it out, Michael can drop the link. And if you want a free alternative, the assembly members are extremely helpful in helping. My brain is tired. They've been extremely helpful the last several weeks. All right. I just did this question. I think this is a repeat. Jose at 5:15. I haven't received the MEUC link yet. Do you think the EDD will send the link? Okay, Jose, when you applied your original application, did you include both regular wages and self-employment income on your application? Many of my subscribers are letting me know that they didn't receive this link, but they're also telling me that they didn't claim their self-employment income in their application. If that's the case, that's why you're not being sent the link, because they don't know that you're self-employed because you didn't claim that income. So whether that is the case or whether or not they should have sent it, but they just didn't, you're going to need to contact the EDD in order to get that application. OMG, Mike D. Brian Stevens at 5:17. My uncle has been out of work since June 2020. Would he be able to get paid for all those weeks? And how long does it take to get approved? Okay, so no. If you apply 12/27 or later, which now we're in that later phase, you can only backdate your claim as early as 12/6. And it depends on your own unique income status for that base period. If he had a significant decrease in what he earned in those earlier months, then he might not qualify to have his claim backdated that early. So he's going to need to first apply for unemployment. And then that process of when you first submit the application to getting approved can take up to 3 weeks. After he's approved, then he is going to submit a request to backdate his claim through askedd.edd.ca.gov. If you just Google Ask EDD, then it'll pop up. I have a video on how to backdate on my channel homepage also. All right. Let's see. What's good from EDD? If you request receiving EDD text alerts too. Yeah, that can be helpful. Okay. Let's see. Sally at 5:19. If we were laid off due to COVID-19 and workplace is still closed for reasons for unemployment, do we still choose 7A, place of work closed? Well, if your workplace is closed, then yes, you would choose that option. Okay. I'm going to do 2 last minutes of questions. And then we'll be all done. Okay, let's see. Chris, this is what I see for you. I get like thousands of messages, so this is the one I see from you, unfortunately. Let's see. Leo Girl, 5:28. Why is it that people are just waiting on pending and for a phone interview to happen are not able to receive the conditional pay? I have been pending since June 6th. You are able to receive conditional pay. That you are the claimants that the conditional pay is created for. You are able to receive it, but it has not been paid out to everyone yet because they have to go through and pay it out. So I know you've been waiting long enough, but the process is that they started paying out the conditional payments on July 23rd, and they have up until September 30th, according to the settlement agreement, to pay out all of the current pending statuses that qualify. So yes, you do qualify, but it's a process. Like anything, they have to go through and they have to pay them out in batches. So if you aren't able to wait any longer, which I've been waiting long enough, but if people can wait and want to wait for it to happen automatically, then they can do so. But for those of you that need it right now, then call in to EDD customer service, which I know is hard, or contact your assembly member. And in many cases, they're able to push you through from pending to paid. Now, many of you have already contacted your assembly member in weeks prior, and they told you there's nothing we can do. You have to wait for your interview from EDD. Well, this new development with the conditional pay program started just this last week. Call in or email in and ask again and see if they're able to help you now. All right. Chris, you guys, if I miss your question, yes, I do have to skip around in questions because there's so many, but You guys don't retype this. Just retype the question, and then I'll see it. Okay, Adam Zion. So after September 4th, I won't be able to collect the rest of my benefits, even if I still have money available. Yes, that is correct. You will no longer be able to collect if you are PEUC or PUA. Those programs will cease to exist regardless of your claim balance. Okay. The PALs at 529. My employee told me to resign due to my health when I was on disability. Now I'm clear to go back to work. Okay, good. I'm glad you're able to go back to work. Congratulations. I hope it goes well. Let's see. Leo Girl at 529 says, I also reached out to Assembly member. Nothing happened yet. What happens next? Sit and wait. Yes. So if you emailed or if you called, give it several business days for you to hear back. And if you don't hear back, then do the opposite. If you emailed, then call. And if you called, then email. But they should be getting back to you, but they are definitely swamped with claimants needing help. And each office is different in terms of how quickly they reply. But they have been authorized to hire 2 additional staff members to handle their EDD claimants. Okay, you guys, I'm going to take 2 last questions here. All right, 532. First time here, I started unemployment in March and about to reach my last payment. Do I need to reapply for EDD once I reach my benefits? How long would take to get paid after? Okay, let me decipher this. Okay, you started your unemployment in March. You're about to reach your last payment. Do you need to reapply? Okay, so if you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, you're going to file a new claim once you reach the end of your benefit year, which is 12 months after your claim start date. You only need to reapply if you did work and earn enough income in order to qualify for a new claim within the last 18 months. So if you did work, try to file the application and see if it lets you proceed. If it doesn't let you proceed, then you don't have to file a new claim, and you will be automatically extended with a PEUC extension. If that's the case and you're waiting on an automatic extension, that should be awarded to you about 2 weeks after your claim hits 0. If it's not awarded to you automatically after hitting 0, 2 weeks later, then contact the EDD. Okay, let's see. Why haven't I received my unemployment? That's a lot of question marks. Okay, why haven't I received my unemployment refund? I filed in February and got regular return. Haven't heard nothing about unemployment refund. Okay, so go, if you got your regular return, so your regular tax return and the unemployment refund are different. They're going to be processed differently. The way you can check it is you can go and pull your IRS transcript. You're going to go to my channel homepage and look up $10,200 in the search bar. Search there, and you'll see all my $10,200 videos pop up. One of them is called How to Check. Click on that one, and I walk you through exactly how to pull your transcript from the IRS. And doing that, you will be able to see on your transcript if they have scheduled you for a date for payout. Now, the IRS announced today that they're beginning the next round of payouts for this tax fix. So starting today on the 28th and continuing out for the next 3 days, they're going to do their next batch of payouts. So for those of you that did not yet receive your refund and you're expecting one for that $10,200 tax-free benefit, go pull your transcript again because you might be scheduled in this next batch of refunds. Okay, you guys. Check the transcript, says nothing. Okay, yeah. Well, I can't tell you when it's going to come, but that's how you can check, and you can continue to monitor there and see. Aside from that, you would be calling the IRS. But they are still continuing to pay these out, so no, not everyone has received them. They are still in the process of doing them. All right, you guys, that was my last question. Been on for almost 2 hours. If I did not get to your question today, know that I get way more questions than I can answer, and I try to get as many as I possibly can. The best way to get a question answered from me is Don't just subscribe to the channel. If you hit the notification bell, then it will send an alert to your phone as soon as I post a video. That's important because regardless of the video topic, even if it's something completely unrelated, when I post a video, I sit at my computer for the next 30 minutes and I answer all of the comments that are posted there. So that is your period of time when you post to get a question answered from me as soon as I post a new video. So as soon as you see a new video posted, go ask your questions there. All right, you guys, I will see you next time.